Hey everybody, Steven here, and today looking at a new lighting product. This is a 4-inch cube by Mr. Go, and they make a lot of different sizes with this. So you actually can get an 8-inch, 10, 12, 14, and 16, and then the 16 you can actually get it as like a stool, which is crazy. But this is like 20 something dollars. It's not crazy expensive. Obviously they're going to get more expensive as you go up, and the stool ends up being like 120 something dollars, but it's a 16-inch by 16-inch. So with this, it's one of the things I've talked about on the channel, where the next stage for my setup is improving B-roll and getting more lighting effects and things like that. So this is the packaging here. I've noticed the last 3 products, I'm going to show the other 2 that I've gotten in, have been this type of packaging. And initially I was like, it's kind of bland and boring, but it also doesn't require a lot of resources. So in terms of the cost on the company's end, but also looking more like towards green packaging, this is going to be better. So we have a webcam that I'm going to be doing a video on, and then a lighting ring I'm going to be doing a video on, and those both have the same type of just kind of plain packaging. So I actually really like this look, clean and to the point. So light color here on this, 16 RGB color tones, 8 brightness levels, light modes. You have flash, strobe, fade, smooth. This is the CQC10 for the model number. Charging time is 1.5 to 2 hours. Battery life, 7 to 48 plus hours. Of course, that's going to depend on the effect and the brightness there. And then this is a 3.7 volt, 2200 milliamp lithium ion battery here. So let's get this thing unboxed. And with this, charging cable, remote, and then the product manual here, and then that just sits right in there, nice and easy. So we have our bottom here, and this is where you can turn it on and off, and I'm assuming that's the plug. Let's try and get that out if we can. Okay, open on this side. It does make it flush, but this seems like it's going to be harder to get open because of that. And it is harder. So let's get a pen and try and get that open. Actually, that may be to waterproof it. I need to double check that. Doesn't look like it's charged. So I am going to charge this. And then after this, I'm not going to sit here and talk about it on camera with this. Whoa, that's not even in English. Okay, multiple languages in here. But it's just the 2 pages. 3 pages on this. On off button, the remote. Please move fast. Plastic film, single remote. If removed, let's charge. Charging instructions. No, you do have to remove it. So you need to fully charge it the first time and then do that. Indicator light on the charging cable cord, red to blue when it's fully charged. And that is it. Okay, so let's showcase the remote really quick. Pull the tab, battery's in there. So yeah, I doubt this will actually do anything. Yeah. Alright, so that is the remote right there. I'm going to showcase B-roll showing me use this, and then the main reason, as I mentioned, for shooting B-roll with using this is I want to stack this behind and products on top of it, so that it almost makes it look like the product is kind of illuminating that light. That's my hope with this, which is why I went with the smaller one here. I mean, it's lightweight. This thing doesn't weigh a ton at all. So easy to store and move around with this. I'm curious to actually see what this looks like, but enough of me talking. We're gonna finish this video out with the actual B-roll. I may do some voiceover work, probably not. I want to try and keep this short, sweet, and to the point with this, because this is just a cube that illuminates here. I am hoping that it does get plenty bright though, for illuminating behind the product. That's kind of my one concern, is how bright does this get. I will track down the lumens with this because I'm not seeing it on the box, and that may help actually make your decision with this, because the Govee ones that I typically use, I'm using them back over here. The table lamps, those are 350 lumens, so Hopefully this gives me at least close to that, because that is a good product for that. It's just bigger, where this is more condensed, and with that, like I said, I can stack products on top of it. So let's go ahead and cut ahead. I'll have this thing fully charged, ready to go, and we'll showcase what it can do. All right, so just cycling through the colors here. With this, you're going to have red, green, blue, and then underneath that you have different shades of colors as well, ranging from orange and aqua to purple and pink and yellow. With this, you also have white, and then for the effects, you have flash, strobe, fade, and smooth. You can also adjust the brightness on this as well, which was nice. I've just noticed with this, you can see it where it starts like flickering on the screen. I think that's actually just a limitation potentially with the lens. Luckily, I got a new lens that I'll look at and showcase here in a minute. With this though, showcasing that light behind the product boxes has been one of the things that I've noticed. It's kind of the standout thing that this can do. I was thinking maybe I could put the product on top of it. I just don't think this is bright enough to illuminate behind that product, and the product has to be big enough to cover it also. And once I actually stack that on top, it doesn't seem bright enough, because if you turn the light off, then you can't really see anything with this. So it's kind of a downside. It just doesn't get quite bright enough. Another downside too is when you need to charge this, the water seal tab that you have to pull out is awesome, but you may damage your fingernail. I say get a pen or something to open that up with. Another thing that I noticed with this that it's really good for is the boxes on the shelves that I have in the corners of the room here. I think that's another big thing that I'll probably end up using this for, where I could set the product box and the product there, and then use the lights around, where it creates a more colorful and brighter kind of background to this, where if I'm doing it just on the bench or something like that, it's not quite as good. The new lens does better with this though. With this, I'm actually showing the Gobi light strip effect on top of this, which is by my 3D panels behind my desk. So another option that I can use this with, but this is me stacking the remote, for instance. Obviously it's smaller. Now, if you have all the lights on, you can't really see the color glow. You start turning this stuff off, yeah, you get a little bit more. It still looks washed out though. And then when you turn off the Gobi table lamp that I have, now you can't even really see the product. So that didn't quite work out like I was hoping it would. But this is the old lens I was just using for all the video. This is the new lens right now that I'm using, and this gets really good bokeh with it, and you can see the light in the background. It just provides a better look for this. So I think this is going to work out more as a kind of side colored, like table lamp type product versus potentially stacking things on. I think I can do some of that, but it's more like, hey, this is just an accent color for whatever you're looking at here, versus the stacking like I was hoping it would do. Overall, really happy with the product though. I would have liked it if it was a little bit brighter and if that water seal was a little bit easier to open. But other than that, I mean, for the price and then the different options for sizes that you have is really, really awesome with this. This is me stacking a product, the headset I'm about to review on this. And that looks pretty cool too, when you can get, like I said, a good bokeh with this. But a couple last minute things I did want to cover, because I know not everybody's going to be filming stuff, right? So as like a table lamp, as a night light, I think this is a decent product. You can change the brightness level with this, but that is just for the main colors. If you went through some of the lighting effects, it doesn't actually change the brightness. What it changes is, for instance, if it's like a flashing or something like that, it slows that down. So something else to keep in mind. This doesn't have an app, so I think it's good for like kids, for instance, where they're not going to be using an app. You can just use this as a nightlight, and it has the remote right there. There's no physical button other than the on off switch, so you can't change the colors or anything like that. You do need to make sure that they have the remote with this, or maybe for like parties, you get a bunch of them, set them out or something like that. On the Amazon listing, I noticed that they had like restaurants and things like that using it as accent pieces, for whether they were using it as like the stools themselves. As I've mentioned earlier, you can actually buy that, or maybe like it's a small end table or something like that, or just an accent piece on the actual
dining table or anything like that, if they're going to be using it, for instance, at a restaurant. So you have that other side to it too, or maybe you're throwing parties and you want it, so you could actually use this as pieces out there. I may use it for Halloween, not sure. I have a couple other lighting products I may be using for my Halloween setup because they go pretty big every year for that, but did want to talk about that. So there's that other side too, is if you have a different intent, yes, night light, table lamp, anything like that, this is actually a good product for that as well, because in darker lighting it does get decently bright. That's going to be it for this, everybody. I'm going to have a link for this in the description if you guys want to pick this up, or the different sizing options that they have. If you like the video, hit the like button for me. If you want to continue to follow along with all my content, hit the subscribe button for me. Thanks so much for watching.